This is a very basic demonstration video for the Apple App Review Group. TrimWatch is an application that is the beginning of a multifaceted research tool we are working with for the Multiple System Atrophy Foundation and other groups for helping better assess and understand certain types of hand tremors. The default page takes you to the measurement tools for the left and right hand measurement. I'll begin a walkthrough of the different options for the device and then return to taking measurements. Again, this is the default page. If you click View, it will take you to the current recordings that have been provided. If you click Setup, it takes you to where you can back up and delete measurements. And that's pretty straightforward. The Help page takes you to information about the Multiple System Atrophy Foundation, how to use TrimWatch, understanding the graphs, what TrimWatch is, our support community, and about human innovations. Returning to the measurement screen, when you tap the left hand measurement, there's a 5-second delay to give you a chance to put get your left hand up properly positioned. The phone then vibrates and it begins receiving or recording the X, Y, and Z data for the accelerometer, as well as taking the timestamp associated with it. It samples at 50 hertz and then finishes. If you view the history, the latest stock measurement, which you see at the bottom, shows up. To take a right hand measurement, you repeat the process, tapping right hand measurement. There's a 5-second delay, and again, after the phone vibrates, it will begin sampling the X, Y, and Z accelerometer data at 50 hertz. We will go through the different graphs that are presented here in a moment. And that is a general overview of the core functionality for the app. Now we'll be moving on to the graphs. For the purposes of this video, we're going to show measurements from someone who had a very noticeable tremor in their left hand, but nominal or background noise tremor in their right hand. If you select View, for this case, it takes you to a demonstration of the left and right hand measurements, similar to what you previously saw. Tapping the left hand measurement shows you a graph where you have the average tremors at the top. This combines the X, Y, and Z measurements. Below, it gives the X axis by itself, then further than that, the Y axis, the Z axis, and then it shows the raw data with the X, Y, and Z. Notice that the Z-axis is higher up for the raw data due to the acceleration of gravity. In the amplitude versus frequency calculations, we subtract out the interference from gravity. Now, if you wanted to compare the left versus the right hand, you would go back to the top and tap Compare Multiple Graphs. This would take you back to the View page, and you would select the right hand. This would return you to the graph page, but it would show the average tremors of the previous left hand and then the average of the right. If you notice, with the left hand there is a very significant shake at roughly 6 hertz, which is indicative of certain types of conditions. But if you compare that to the right hand, it's effectively background noise. Also notice that if the measurements or the amplitude is very small, the graph automatically scales to the next degree of resolution. So the right hand average tremors are actually extremely small in this case. Moving down, you can see the x-axis tremors versus the right axis. Going further, you can see the y-axis versus right and left y-axis. As well, going further, you can see the left and right z-axis. The z-axis is where you see the most pronounced tremor for the left hand, going well above 1 centimeter in amplitude, whereas with the right hand it's just very, very basic background noise. Also, looking at the raw data for the left versus right, you can see the significance of the movement. Looking at the raw data can be of significant importance because it's possible you might have accidentally moved your hand suddenly, which would cause a great deal of error in a measurement, and being able to look at the raw data lets you see if anything like that happened. That overviews the basic graphs. You also can export the data in a format that effectively is JSON, that includes the X, Y, and Z measurements with the actual timestamp. And this can be used for a variety of purposes. The data is exported as a zip file that goes into the main folder for the app, or the documents folder for the app, and can be taken wherever you want from that point on. We will, in later versions, have additional features for uploading data to researchers, etc. But currently, we just have it drop into the default location on the phone for archival purposes. That concludes the overview. If you have any questions, please contact us, and we do greatly request that you review this as quickly as possible, because we're waiting on a press release for this app, so the Multiple System Atrophy Foundation can release it for their people that they work with. Thank you.